Chioma, you have been with my son for 7 years, no child. I want to carry my grandchildren before I die.
God.
The night Chioma almost died. The first time Chioma begged God with her face on the bathroom floor. It was at 2:14 a.m. No makeup, no designer clothes, no expensive jewelry, just tears, and a woman slowly losing herself. "Please," she whispered weakly between sobs. "Even if it's only one child, please don't let them laugh at me forever." Outside the bathroom door, she could hear voices downstairs. Her mother-in-law had come again, and once again, peace had left the mansion. Weeks passed after the child dedication incident, but the humiliation never ended. Instead, it became worse. Chioma started traveling from one place to another, searching desperately for help. Hospitals in Lagos, specialists abroad, prayer houses, mountain vigils. Everywhere people promised hope. Everywhere she returned empty. Some pastors laid hands on her genuinely and prayed with tears in their eyes. Others only smiled once they saw money. One prophet told her to sow a special seed of 5 million naira. Another asked her to fast for 14 days without speaking to anybody. A woman somewhere in Abuja rubbed strange oil on her stomach while whispering prayers into the air. Nothing changed. Every month came with fresh disappointment, and every disappointment stole another piece of Chioma's smile. At home, things slowly became colder. Sometimes Emeka defended her. Sometimes he stayed silent while his mother insulted her openly during dinner. "One day my son will wake up," Madam Eze said one evening while sipping tea calmly. "A man cannot build an empire without an heir." Chioma lowered her eyes quietly. Emeka said nothing. That silence hurt more than shouting. One afternoon, Chioma's closest friend, Ada, visited the mansion with excitement written all over her face. "I know someone in Abuja," Ada whispered carefully. "A powerful prophet. People say impossible cases disappear there." Chioma looked tired, very tired, but desperation can make suffering look like hope. 3 days later, she and Emeka boarded a flight to Abuja. The prophet's ministry sat at the edge of the city inside a massive building filled with candles, loud prayers, and desperate faces. Women cried everywhere. Some rolled on the floor, praying for children. Others clutched photographs of babies they hoped to have someday. When the prophet finally saw Chioma privately, he stared at her silently for a long time. Then he stood and walked toward a shelf filled with dark bottles. "This case is spiritual," he said slowly. He handed her a small bottle containing thick black liquid. "You must drink everything tonight before midnight." Chioma hesitated. The smell alone frightened her. But Emeka squeezed her hand gently. "Maybe this is the last step," he whispered. That night at their Abuja hotel suite, Chioma drank the mixture. Minutes later, her stomach twisted violently. The pain came suddenly. She collapsed beside the bed, vomiting uncontrollably. Again, and again, and again. Her body shook terribly as sweat covered her skin. "Chioma!" Emeka shouted in panic, rushing to hold her. She could barely breathe. Everything she ate came out endlessly while tears streamed down her face helplessly. Emeka cleaned her mouth with trembling hands, terrified she might die before morning. But across the room, Madam Eze sat quietly with her prayer beads, watching, cold, expressionless. Then under her breath, she whispered words Chioma was never supposed to hear. "If this marriage must survive, let this woman not wake up tomorrow." Chioma froze weakly on the floor. Her heartbeat stopped for one terrifying second, and slowly, she lifted her eyes toward her mother-in-law in shock. But before she could speak, someone knocked heavily on the hotel door at exactly 1 a.m. Emeka opened it, and immediately his face lost all color.